Aloha. So today I want to talk about apologizing and being sorry. You've heard it all the time. Some parent coming up to their kids who are fighting and stopping them and saying, "Apologize to each other right now." And they both stop and they look at each other and reluctantly say, "I'm sorry." This is bunk, and everyone knows it. But at the same time, everyone seems to know that these acts are important, or else we would just do away with these formalities a long time ago. They wouldn't still be here if they didn't serve some integral purpose, even if they've become pretty bunk in our society. So I would say a command to apologize is not a command to say you're sorry. Not yet, at least. It is instead, it's instead to facilitate empathy by explaining or defending one's actions or feelings amidst those actions, or because of those actions, I guess, as well. In the sense of the courts, it's to defend or to bring a defense. And in the case of arguments or minor wrongs done, it's simply to explain, which is the facilitating empathy, as it affords in the other party a competency of why the wrong was done, or the explaining why it was a wrong, why what that other person did impacted me and caused it to be a wrong, a negative point, a break in relationship, I guess, or a damage to relationship. So a command to apologize and then the airing of apologies is to be followed by making amends, to saying sorry and being sorry. And to this airing of apologies is exactly what facilitates the ability to actually be sorry, to actually make a change. And without this, we can't, because there has to be a competency, there has to be a nurturing of relationship in this way to mend what has been damaged or severed. And so it takes an intentional process of being honest and explaining yourself and letting the other explain themselves. On to saying sorry. Saying sorry has been rendered especially bunk and meaningless, except that it has a fruit of just the act of saying sorry, saying I'm sorry, is a bit of a lowering of yourself. Even if it is meaningless, it still inherently has this lowering quality to it. And so to some extent, it promotes humility, even if it's a lie. It's still just going through that motion is a little jolt or a little whatever of humility. And so there is a fruit in that. But as far as relationship goes, that doesn't suffice at all. It means nothing if saying sorry is not being sorry. Relationally, because the detriment of falsely saying sorry while not being sorry far outweighs the benefit of engaging with the ritual, because external relationship is far more important than the internal personal kind that having that jolt of humility does for me. that pales in comparison to how important it is to actually mend and restore the relationship. And so to actually be sorry. So sorry is a conditional word, and that one actually has to be sorry to be sorry. And providing an honest apology and then receiving an informative apology, which explains the hurt caused, is a potent way of actually truthfully and honestly being sorry. And even though it's been cliched, actually being sorry means having actually transformed and matured because of the situation. Like, yes, that is a cliche statement, but it's actually true. It's kind of like faith and works in a way, but it's still, it's very necessary, even if it is even if it's so meaninglessly been used, and it's just a ritual thing, it is actually changing. And there is some nuance to that. I'm discussing this because there's some nuance, because it is tricky in that, how do I say this? It's messy. Actually being sorry, and like this caveat of being sorry, that you have to actually change and you have to actually be sorry. Being sorry and changing can take time. It is a process. It's not just a boom, all right, now I will never ever do that thing ever again. Like, no, I might slip up soon. Like, it could be very quick. But the thing is, internally, it is an honest and authentic desire that has been birthed to make that change for that person. That's where the nuance comes in, because it's not just a robotic, I did this and then I said I'm sorry and then I never did that again and I never wronged you in that way, or this person said sorry to me and then they never did that wrong again. Like, no, like, I can't, as a receiver of I'm sorry, I can't expect that, because that's not realistic. That's not human. Relationship is very messy, and it's long term, or I don't know the word I'm trying to say. It takes time, and it occurs over time. It's a journey, and so you can't just fix it like that, and you can't expect changes just like that. But you still have to change, and you still have to become better and nurture your relationship with that person, and allow them, if they're the ones that are saying sorry, to actually allow them to make that change and to nurture them in that, and to not be legalistic about it, but to be relational about it. The providing of apologies and the empathy that affords needs to it needs to be the whole thing. Like, even in the saying sorry, like, there needs to be an empathy that comes through and allows for this journey to continue, instead of it separating two people. So to sum it up, apologies from both sides, the wronged and the wrongdoer on each side. That's what facilitates empathy and competency, which then can be used to have the ability for the wrongdoer to actually be sorry, and for the wronged to actually heal. And that's why this is so important. That's why it's so important that we get back on track with this. And that's the point of this whole series of conditional words. I'm not trying to just be a hard ass or have my own definitions of stuff. These words are important, and using them emptily, using them in ways that go against their conditionalness, it has extreme effects. Like something like leadership. You look at leadership, and when being a leader just means that you're in charge, in one sense, it's whatever. Like it's subtle, but it lowers the bar of what leadership is. And so then collectively, it just brings down all leadership. And then when someone is a true leader, we look at it as like as exceptional and as, something that we can't do that. They're a special version of that. Like, no, like that's what leaders are supposed to be. Full stop. And so, yeah, it's super important that we grapple with these words that have maybe become cliched and take back our agency and allow the power of these words to bring life and help us heal some stuff and help us keep us from some wrong stuff and kind of be a map for us to walk this journey with. And that especially goes for apologizing and saying you're sorry, because we're so prone to messing up and to being selfish and or irrational or an asshole or what have you. And so it's going to be needed, this ability to apologize, to actually provide a competent or an honest apology, and then also to actually listen to Shema what this other person has to say about their end of it, and then to actually say you're sorry and let that declaration be a truthful declaration and not just an empty platitude. And I think if we do that, it's a very simple thing, but I think it would bring a lot of benefit to us personally and interpersonally. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say on this subject. But yeah, apologize to one another and say you're sorry and mean it. Aloha.